Thank you for being with us. This is another giveaway project that we're doing for the public, making our software public access. We're going to be talking about muscles this evening in the next couple of hours. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to be with us. This is Steffi. Many of you have probably spoken to her, and this is just a little video that we did so you can kind of see what's going on here, and it's about muscles. Now, I've noticed when I previewed this that over here on the right, sometimes things show up that shouldn't be shown in mixed company. And I don't think I'm an old fogey, but some of it's advertising for ladies of the night, it looks like. So if any of that pops up, please excuse me for bringing it to you as we watch what went on with Steffi in our lab.
I was taking my dog out the other day and I stabbed my finger in the boot. What happened? It smashed it and I had my ring cut off. It swelled up. Couldn't move it. So couldn't move it sideways, back and forth. What was your pain level? 7, 8. And that was a crack starting. So you work on Monday with your hand all banded up, right? So you serve this pain all weekend? Okay, if anybody says you come into a lab, we're going to take care of that. Not till Monday. So on Monday, what happened? You brought me in the lab, and you played tones, and the pain went away. And then I came on and started assembly. And then we done a voice sprint, and we found out little flexor muscles. And it started to bend for a little while, but I got to bend. Well, I did that for a very selfish reason. Because did you just come in here because you work here, or did you think this was going to work? I wasn't sure if it would. I've seen you work on people and to help them. How long did it take for the pain to go away? A couple minutes. Okay, and you have some scratches, right? We've already taken the pain away, and we've already worked on your fingers, so you really don't need that bandage. So can you give us a demonstration of how your finger would work? That would be sort of, sort of? Yes, that's like this. And now, could you push it with your other hand and make it work? Could you push the back of it and make it work? That's fantastic. So we use the frequency of that little finger. How long did it take for you to be able to bend it that way? Just a few minutes. And did you believe it? It's crazy. Never seen. I've seen you do it, but I didn't know if it was in your head. Well, you thinking? No. And your pain's been gone now for a day or so, and you can bend your fingers and touch, and the swell went away. And bruise, the bruise went away. Don't you find that kind of weird that you stand with frequency and let your muscles do better out of you? Yes, absolutely. I mean, why you think everybody should come here to have nothing, only injured or not, because I would have paid thousands of dollars to go to hospital for them not to be able to do anything, give me painful for it, and take months to do like that, and all those things. Well, we should tell people that we have first aid person here to teach you better Red Cross, and they examine your finger, which you put it back into place, or was it out of place? Oh no, she pulled it in a pop. One of the things that you said to me, what was the time that you put it up, I know my finger out. Did it feel it crunches after the sound? Did it still crunch? So I don't even know how to phrase the question. Why does everybody who has an injury like this at our door? That's a good question. why didn't you have me look at your finger before? Maybe that's a good place to start. When you first heard it, I don't think it helps, honestly. So sorry. Oh, here you are, trying to type with your fingers stuck in the vein, you're kind of like, oh, finger. Even though you work here for 2 months, I was hoping you'd take such a but you really didn't believe it. Didn't hurt, did it? Not at all. And Judah, it kept hurting. Did you eventually go to the hospital? Possibly. Everything will hit you at first. I want everybody to hit us at first. I don't want to be working with broken fingers and things that are beyond us. But even if the finger is broken, we can help thereby alleviate the pain, because we have frequency that alleviates other bone pain. Meaning your kids alleviate bone and muscle pain and the ability to flex.
Some of you are complaining that you really can't understand what Steffi is saying. Well, she's kind of garbling her words too. So I will put the link in for you to go to YouTube and just watch this on your own. And it's just under Sound Health Profiles, Steffi Hager, Hager. And you'll find this under our channel, I guess you call it, Sound Health. Or just, it's easier under my name, just Sherry Edwards, Sherry with an A. And it's easier to find it, so you could listen to it there. But essentially, she is saying she did this on Friday, smashed her finger, and it swelled up almost immediately. They had to cut her ring off. Actually, the janitor here cut the ring off for her. But we were able to look at her vocal print and see what frequency she needed to give the body back the ability to control that finger. So you were listening to her through our video setup here, and it didn't work very well. So I wanted to show you the kinds of things that we do and show you the kinds of things that we want to take care of. Now in this one, you don't need any words. This is a guy who has dyskinesia, and you'll see his head shaking, his hands shaking. And the idea of this was they gave him some blue glasses to put on. This is a ataxia, where he can't walk straight and his head swinging back and forth. This is a form of, they try to call it Parkinson's, but it's just really the wrong signals are going. Now the glasses provide a frequency for him because they're color, and everything gets to the brain as a frequency. The brain is the central processing unit of the body that helps send and direct signals all throughout the body. Light blue is the note of G to G sharp, and that controls muscles. Are better. The sound. And before I provide you you can go grab that options.com/radiationclass.html. And we're going to try to leave that up 24/7 because we are seeing more and more people with these muscle problems that when we really look at root cause, it's radiation poisoning. So we want to make this available to everyone, and we're being sponsored by the Institute of Bioacoustic Biology and Sound Health. I'm Sherry Edwards. That's a picture taken a couple of years ago. We occupy all 3 floors of this side of the building. There's another side to it. We have about 9,000 square feet here, and we're outgrowing that space. We really would like to have a residential facility so people could come and take these classes and stay with us for a couple of months, or be here as a client and stay with us for a couple of weeks or so. We have a journal, and we mainly did the journal to give people information and to provide credibility for what we're doing. The American Medical Association decided that they were the be-all, end-all, make the rules, and they did it by putting out a journal and just saying, we're in charge here. So we did the same thing. There's several issues. If you want more in-depth information of how all of this works, it's in those journals that are online. We also have videos for you. Now you can purchase these. They're $24.95, or you can go download them for free, and it's under soundhealthoptions.com. Whoop, went one too far. secretstash.html. You can make lots of copies. We'll give you the labels, pass them out to your friends. Or if you'd like and you think giving away something makes it worthless, we'd be happy to have you purchase one of these videos. There's 12 of them that have been made from Amazon. Doorway to a New Medicine. If you would like for your doctors to look at any of this information, the second video here that's for download, Miracles of Non-Medicine, is a lot of the other physicians that work with us. We have been in over 30 books, including Duke Encyclopedia of New Medicine, Definitive Guide for New Medicine, Health on the Edge, were an entire chapter. He did that book of all the people he thought were on the edge of discovery. We also are an entire book done by Jill Madsen, Secret Sounds Ultimate Healing, and you can get that from Jill's Wings of Light. Jill's Wings of Light. Now, L-I-G-H-T. I put that in a way that it shouldn't be. It should have been one word, jillswingsoflight.com, if you're interested in ordering that book. It answers that question, is frequency a new medicine or an ancient mystery revealed? It is both. And when you look at some of the information that Sylvia Franck has written about us in the Tree of Life and the Holy Grail, you realize that a lot of this information is coming through as if it were from the Templars, the sect of the Catholic Church that was charged with keeping people safe and healthy. So whether it's from a modern perspective of Duke University, or an ancient one of the Templars, or the National Institute of Health here in America, they have looked at us and decided that we are integrative medicine, not conventional, not alternative, possibly complementary, but more than anything, we're integrative, and you'll see some of those lab tests and some of that evidence as we go on. So for this particular class that we're giving away, Muscle Management and Abacus. And the download for that, you can go download this right now. It is soundhealthoptions.com/muscle, MUSC, management. I can't spell management. I mean management.html. Now, for those of you who frequent our site, you would have seen this. It's been up there for a couple of days, and you would have been able to download it already. So if you plan to attend other free classes, you might want to be checking that front site so that you can download any of this. There is also a Bioacoustic Basics text, very step 1, step 2, step 3 guide that you can download along with the cover on that same site. So our schedule today is to look at the Audacity software that you can download. That's not our program, but it's one that we like and one that we use and one that's very accurate. The Abacus is our program, and we're providing that to you, so 2 softwares with this class. Muscle management, how to monitor muscles for weak or strong. We do have other programs. I'm going to introduce you to muscle performance today and possibly maintenance and repair. We do have another one about connective tissue. So whatever you decide to do as we begin to work with the body's energy system that dominates and controls the muscles. Every plant, every animal, everything on the planet has a frequency. They've proven it with animal bioacoustics that birds that sing this way are sick, and frogs that do this aren't well, and dolphins that make this kind of noise are happy, and these want to have sex, and these want to have a meal. So they figured out what these sounds are at all of these universities. We are doing it on humans, human bioacoustics. We are the unique pioneering company for human bioacoustics. It started here. We realize through what we have learned that the body has the ability to self-diagnose through frequency and to reorganize through frequency. So as you give people frequencies, you entrain their brain to use a frequency that they couldn't use before. One of our more famous cases is Willie Crum, and it's on YouTube for you to look at. His father was the head of Project Train here in Ohio, and Willie saw us on a PBS station. He had been beat up in an absolutely senseless gang beating, so bad it tore the connective tissue between his brain and his skull apart. He was in a coma for 1.5 years, and after he came out of the coma, he couldn't move his eyes, he couldn't coordinate them. He could kind of shrug one shoulder. He drooled, he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, he couldn't eat, he couldn't swallow, he couldn't smell, he could hear. So he could shrug one shoulder, kind of, sort of, and he and his dad had worked out a system where Willie could get his point across. So Willie's watching us on some of the cases on PBS, and Willie signaled to his dad, "I want to go see that woman. I think she could help me." And his dad really thought I was just a crackpot. And he said to Willie, "Okay, I will write her an email right now. I'll send her a fax. And if she answers, we'll go see her. But she's got to answer in the next hour or so, because we'll know she's real if she'll answer us right away." Well, this was a Sunday afternoon. And Bill Crum didn't know my work schedule. And I was in the office on Sunday afternoon. And I answered him within 5 minutes. And then he was stuck. He had to bring Willie to see us. So Willie came in a wheelchair in a big special truck that he was in, and this gang of people who were helping him. And asked Willie, "What do you want to do first?" Sort of through his interpreter dad. And he wanted to learn to open and close his mouth because the drooling was really bothering him. And they kept a rag and a diaper on him, on his face, or by his face. So I do this, or did it in the beginning, by touching people and feeling and hearing the frequency of the muscle. And that's how we got most of the frequencies for the muscles. Some of them we just kind of backed into and by extrapolation could do. But I touched Willie's face and chin, and there wasn't any signal in his body. Be like the difference in touching a live person and a dead person. So I turned to his father and I said, "Are you his biological father?" And he acted kind of incredulous. "Yes." And I said, "Can I touch you?" He said, "Where?" I said, "Just your chin." I figured if he was his biological father, maybe I could use his dad's signal from his chin. And this is all on film. And in about 20 minutes, Willie could open and close his mouth. It was incredible. And Bill Crum, the head of Project Train for the governor of Ohio, became a believer. And Willie has been progressing ever since. And some of the studies that we did with him was give him a signal on his skin, and that signal would travel back to the brain and make the reconnection. So we know that we can hit the skin with frequencies. We know we can use sound with frequencies to allow the body to heal itself. Normally, when this happens, there's a trauma in the body, and whatever is hurt, maybe you cut yourself, the cells there send out little signals and say, "Help, help, something's a problem here." And calcium acts as like the master, the foreman, and goes in and sees what needs to be done, and it orders the parts and starts to fix everything. So calcium is a really important commodity in the body for keeping the body healthy. Another one is a system called ubiquitin that we just did some studies on last week. And for our professional practitioners who are on with us and attended that class, it was pretty phenomenal. And I think that's going to be the key to aging and to anti-aging. So we're going to continue to study that because it shows how the body renews itself, and we were able to decode all of that. So we've set up a series of classes for people, and we have about 50 little satellite courses and classes. And these are some that we have been giving away: muscles, traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder, pre-vac nutrition. And we try to balance that throughout a couple of months. And also, if you have a group where you are that want to do a nutrition course or a pre-vac course, you can bring them to where you are, and there on your computer, we can all have a class together, or you can bring them into these free classes. The whole objective is for us to be able to set up a bioacoustic center in each community. So step one, we ask you to start working with the Nano Voice, which is free for you online. Moon, would you put that address in for us? nanovoice.org. That sort of gets your feet wet, gets you started at looking what frequencies and notes mean for a person. Step two, well, I don't know where step two went. That's 3. Step 1, step 2 is down here, is the professional level 2 training. There is a one-day training course if you want to just be a technician. This is all online under frequently asked questions on the very first page of FAQ, frequently asked questions. Now this is just the starter kit. With the bigger kit you get equipment and lots of other things. So then step 3 is taking that course, and we will train you how to be a bioacoustics provider. That's the special that we're doing. Anybody who will agree to work with Parkinson's or any kind of muscle issues and take the course, we have $1,200 of software for you. The other is that we have enough money for 3 matching scholarships. So if you're interested in taking a course, let us know. Call us on Monday, send me an email. Moon, if you could put my email address in there and maybe our phone number, that would be good. So the idea is to start with the Nano Voice, the personality profiler. Get that under your belt. There's a 2-hour free class about that at thenanovoice.org. We also have a golf swing evaluator that people can use. Parkinson's management, muscle management, maintenance and repair, muscle performance. These are step by step, and that little bioacoustic basic text makes them easy to use. I lost step 2 again, guys. Step 1. Step 2, join the Guardians of the People Network. You get a software every month and a lot more in-depth information. For people joining the Bioacoustic Guardian of the People Network, they get their free nutrition program when they sign up. So we are trying to not defy Obamacare, but certainly we are going up against it. We don't want to fight. We just want to create a system that's better and share it with the people in a way that everybody can use it to get healthy and stay healthy. They're making rules now that I don't approve of. People over 72, they are saying they have a right to end their lives. And in Time magazine a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so, the government has decided that if it's time to let your parent die, they'll even give you a little bonus check. You know, that sounds horrid, and it is. Health is not about money. Health is about quality of life, and when it's your parent, it makes a difference. So go ahead and download audacity.sourceforge.net, and that information is given to you, and that address is given to you on our site. Abacus is there waiting for you at that musclemanagement.html, and so is the Abacus. You don't have to go online to register your programs. The registration is right there for you. If you have trouble, if you're trying to run a 64-bit system, you will have trouble because it only runs on Excel 32. There is a kink in that 64-bit system that doesn't allow the software to work. Now, anything above that's fine. But they did away with those programs, Microsoft did, because they knew they were glitchy. But we're still coming up against it. Some people are saying they can't get this downloaded. Well, check and see if you have a 64-bit system. How do you do that? I hear the question. Well, I don't know. Maybe one of our IT people could answer it on Monday. To make your life easier, these 3 folders, Client Waves and GNS, which stands for Genesis, and you'll watch us use those in just a little bit. Purchase and install your microphone. We have 3 microphones that we use: a Dynex USB, a Logitech USB, and a Samson. There is a 4th one that people use with their iPad, and it's an MM100. And I have the hiccups. Let me grab my drink here. I probably should take off my mic before I do this. Okay, I think they're gone. If you're having trouble finding those microphones, they are listed on our website, soundhealthoptions.com, under links or products or options. I can't really remember what it is. So there are items that you want to download. Articles. One of them is How Muscles Age. One of them is How to Take a Vocal Print Using Audacity. That's in your Bioacoustic Basics book. Making PDF files. This is files that you can bundle and send over the internet. Pulling points instructions. All of that is there for you. Now, how are you going to be using this? We'll contact your local radio stations. If you get proficient at it, we'll run you through a little test and see that you can do this so that you're representing the program well. And then you can go to spas and gyms and rehab centers. Bureau of Vocational Rehabilitation here in Ohio has paid us to do stroke victims, and you can see one of those on our YouTube channel, Hector Flores. Sports trainers love this stuff because there's a predictive side to it. They can see the problems that are going to happen with muscles before they become an injury. So weight management centers, all of those about exercise and people want to get more fit. All of those are potential places for you to market yourself. And you can charge $30 to $50. Chiropractors, I should have put on there, for each one of these charts. So today we're going to be using the Audacity, Abacus, which helps pull the points, the muscle management program there in green, and then muscle performance. And we may end up using, if we have time, maintenance and repair, because that's a third program that helps with the body's muscle biochemistry. And when you see a muscle that's weak or strong, you always want to check it against nutrition to see what is going on with it, to see if the ankle muscles, when they're weak, it's usually potassium that's a problem. When it's the latissimus dorsi, right under your arm by your ribs, it is usually choline that's a problem. So each one of these, what you will get today is the muscle management program. And you'll get that for 30 days. $30 days is enough for you to earn your money to come into the Guardian, which is $40 a month, and then you can buy any of these programs for a year for $40. If you buy them outright, they're $300. If you just come to us and say, I want to buy this program, it's $300. So the Guardians really do get a good deal on this. You can only register your programs for up to a year, and this one is about muscle management. So the muscle program was actually designed to look at weak and strong muscles, and that's all it was designed for. But there is so much more going on. Why would you want a muscle to be weak? Well, let's say you have MS, and what happens with MS is the calf muscle draws up so tight they can't put their heel on the floor. So you want to relax that muscle. And sometimes one side of your spine is so stressed and inflamed that it pulls the other side off. Or a muscle in your shoulder can pull off your hip, or your hip can pull off your thigh, or your ankle can pull off your knee. So you don't want muscles high and in stress. You want them not to appear on your chart, and that means they're probably okay. So these are some things to download. You don't have to register your Abacus online. You can register your Abacus right here, even though it says so. Now, some people are having trouble with the Abacus, and if that's what's really going on, then by all means call us, and we'll try to help you take care of it. But soundhealthoptions.com/musclemanagement.html. The stuff's waiting there for you, including the registration. You don't have to get in touch with us. To download the textbook, just double-click on it. There's articles there. Just a little recap of what you need to do. We ask you also to go to Get Body Smart. This is an incredible resource. Let's go look at it. Just real simple. Get Body Smart. Overview: skeletal system, muscle system, muscular system, muscle tissue physiology. I've never seen that. So you can go in and muscles that act on the leg, and you can begin to move up and down and all of the different layers of that muscle. Incredible resource. We used to have a book about this, but this is such a better resource than what we had. And this is free. There's an article sitting there waiting for you called How Muscles Age. It gives you information on how to do exercise, some nutrition. I just found it to be a very good article. A lot of this information comes from our muscle book, and we just gleaned it from every place all over. Most people know what a muscle is, but do they know that muscles are made up of really tiny strings like thread, and they're woven together to make them very strong? Tendons connect to muscles and to bones, and so you need to consider that. Also, when you look at tendons, there's an absolute mathematical correlation to the muscles. So if you're stuck on something, give us a call, and we'll try to refer you out to a practitioner that has all this information and all the frequencies in their book. 3 types of muscles. Skeletal muscle, that's probably what people are most familiar with. If you take the skin off a human, you can see all the muscles. There was an exhibit going around where they had plasticized a real person's muscles, and it visited all these scientific museums a few years ago. It was fascinating. I thought it was fascinating that direct connection of muscles to the skin is on the head and face, so that we can have facial expression. Smooth muscles like I really can't think of any except the example they give, the intestines there. Smooth muscles will also move the blood forward and distribute all the fluids in the system. And then the cardiac muscle, so big, thick internal muscles. We work mainly with the skeletal muscles, but we also have the muscles for the heart and the muscles for the intestines in the computer program. So muscle hypertrophy and atrophy. Atrophy, the muscle breaks down. Hypertrophy, there's too much of a muscle, like the heart's enlarged. Prostate gets enlarged. Examples of muscle wasting, we've been able to work with that in giving the frequencies of the muscle and also the nerves that feed the muscle, like myotubularin and periaxin. The hypertrophy that I found was so ugly in the humans that I couldn't stand to put them in pictures here. And a lot of them were very sexually explicit, so I didn't want to put them in pictures here, of where people's parts grew very, very large, male and female. But this is all controlled by something called myostatin. And they are actually breeding cows to have more muscle, more meat, so they can sell them at a higher price. And you can see how incredibly big this bull is. this woman's standing there pushing the bull's head up, and he's actually at least a head taller than her. And this dog just, this is a greyhound. It's supposed to be very thick or very thin. This is a genetic problem, and you can go on YouTube, and the world's strongest little kid, I think is what it's called. And this little kid is like standing on his fingertips and doing cartwheels on his fingertips. He has this same problem with myostatin. It's a genetic problem. Usually their lives are very short-lived. That's the payback for having all these muscles. Just like men who exercise to the point of they are grotesquely over-muscled, well, to me it's grotesque, they usually don't live very long. We can actually make muscles weak or strong using, in this case was B12, and the guy had peripheral neuropathy, and it was from a measles shot, measles antigen, when he was very, very young. And it just manifested. He was about 70. And you can see in some cases we actually made him weaker. We went from him being able to hand strength of 119 pounds, we use a dynamometer, to 115. That's good. But when you begin to do it the other way around, the 101, well, that's more, 14 pounds, and he went down to 12, then you know that the sounds you're giving them are not good. But for our practitioners, just turn it around and do the opposite formula, and it makes it good, usually. So yes, we have proven that we can make muscles weak or strong. Nerve degeneration, innervation, make nerves grow, denervation, they deteriorate. This is one of the people that you can see on YouTube. This is Dr. Russ Rudy. He's a MD, a doctor in the local emergency room, and he came to us with MS. He had lost the nerves from his waist down. Now, he really didn't have MS. He had an injury to the spine, but nevertheless, we were able to help his body regrow the nerves from the waist down. Totally impossible, but there it is. And there's Dr. Rudy. He has developed a kind of stiff man syndrome now, and that's from the inability to process glycine. So if you're sitting and when you get up you're a little stiff, look at your glycine, glutamic acids, and glutathione. Also look to see if you're drinking any aspartame or eating any aspartame, because that can interfere with your body's ability to make trimethyl and dimethylglycine. Musculoskeletal trauma, contusions, sprains, strains, muscle cramping. It says muscle cramping is usually an imbalance between magnesium and calcium. It can also be choline. This I took from an article just to give you different kinds. And we've been able to help people who had trauma. This is Bob Bethel in our old broken down homemade tennis court in the back. You can't see it there, but this was his leg. We got him about 4 years after he had this accident, motorcycle, underneath a truck. The I-beam just slid part of his leg off, and it was laying there in a chunk beside him. Nobody thought he was going to live. There was people taking things off his body, his sunglasses and other things, but the ambulance got there and they rebuilt that leg, meat from his back, bone from his hip, and skin from his thigh, and they rebuilt it, but it just looked like a chunk of dead skin, and when it was all swollen and you could punch that lump and it was like gelatinous. It just was not firm at all. So my husband met Bob in a grocery store one night while Bob was trying to duck a bad date. and said that my wife could probably help you with that. Bob had on a tennis shirt, and they had tennis in common. So my husband invited him over, and Bob wouldn't have anything to do with me or what I did. He just thought this was hocus pocus. So when he came to the house to get a drink, I put the sounds on for him. And within a very short time, he was off of Vicodin. He was out of pain. His leg began to act like a real muscle. He can use it now. He plays tennis. He does overheads. He does serves. And he has no problem with the leg, except it looks kind of bad. Took about a year to totally restructure and retrain that leg to do what it ought to do. Myasthenia gravis. I have an aunt that had myasthenia gravis, and I wish I'd had information then that I do now. And when you run into something like this, you just have to use the frequencies that are available in the chart without ever looking at why, because there is no cure for this. I think it's nerve transmission, and we're able to do that by looking at stearic acid and periaxin and some of the other things that help support and regrow nerves. ALS. We have helped several people who had ALS, and a lot of the times Lyme disease was involved. We have a whole program that we developed for Lyme disease just for people who had ALS. The muscular dystrophies. A lot of times this is a note of G because they're not using their minerals correctly to feed the muscles. The calcium, the magnesium, the manganese, the zinc, all of those are needed to help support the muscle fibers. Myositis, from a bacteria or a virus, altered immune system. There can be an infection in the muscle, even in the organ, an infection in your kidneys or your pancreas. All of those organ meats are very muscular. And so we have put in all of this information for you. What they used to call rheumatism, myalgia. We have the frequencies for that. It's the note of D. Fibromyalgia, that they used to call other kinds of things. We found out it's pyruvic acid, oxygen, and lactic acid that aren't working well in the body. So pyruvic acid or pyruvate combined with lactic acid creates oxygen at a cellular level, and that helps get rid of that pain. Scleroderma, very painful hardening and thickening of the connective tissues. Sometimes it makes lumps under the skin, makes more tissue under the skin, so you have a hard time smiling even. Scleroderma is also the note of D. This is a chart we got from John T's book and got special permission to put it in our muscle book. And this shows you at what time of the day it is better to work on different muscles. So if you're going to work on the latissimus dorsi, which is below your armpit and down the body, it's better to work on it between 9 and 11 a.m. This is some of his work that says the frequencies for these muscles are more active at certain times of the day. If you don't know what the muscles are, go to that Get Body Smart. We have posters, but you can get it from Get Body Smart much easier. We do have a couple of sets that contain notes, and you can just call the office. The phone number, I'll stick it in for you. You can call the office and order these. But they are on those sonocards. So if you already have sonocards, You already have these note relationships. You already have the relationships to the nutrients. Okay, she hurt her ring finger because we cut her ring off. So that's vitamin A and stearic acid. Stearic acid helps rebuild nerves. Artificial vitamin A, sodium phosphate dibasic, which is good for the immune system. So these charts help you look at each muscle and what is the relationship of the nutrients. But they're on the sono cards. These are just pictures. These are the sono cards. You can see here muscle and vertebrae, rectus superior, the flexors, vertical muscle of the tongue, and where its location is. So some of you have won copies of these. You know, some of you won copies and then didn't get in touch with us to pay the shipping. So you need to do that if you haven't. We do all of this because we think whoever controls health controls the people and controls the quality of life. And we want all of that information to be in your hands. We don't think it belongs to Obamacare or your local IRS or whoever's going to be running any of this. So we are going to demonstrate some of this. Does anybody like to volunteer that has not been on the show before? Somebody with a muscle problem. Anybody have a backache, leg ache, knee ache, arm? Well, I guess I'll have to volunteer myself. Oh, Patty and Rick said they will, and Phil said he would. Okay. Patty, where are you guys? Okay, I am going to pass you a microphone. And they said they can't hear very well, so I'm going to give you a phone number. Just give it to everybody, 740-698-1881. So call me there, and we'll get a better recording.
740-698-1881.
Okay, when you get on the phone with us, turn off your mic and speaker, or we're going to get feedback. Okay, I'll begin to set up here. We're going to start with Audacity.
740.
And this will help us take a sample of the voice. And we need a 30-second sample.
Kelly's busy.
Are you getting a busy signal? It can't be busy. I'm the only one here. Oh, it's not working. When I turn it on, it's not working. Okay, let me give you another phone number.
Sherry, can you hear us?
I can, but not through the phone because yes, I can hear you. I'm going to have to give you another phone number, have you come in a different way. I'm just going to give you the office phone and do it there.
698-1881.
That one's not working.
Okay, I'm Sherry to everyone. Here's a different number. Okay, hold on for a second. 740. 698. 698.
I don't know what has happened to our phone in the studio, but it won't come on. Okay, let's I don't want to do it through the computer. Oh, I didn't catch it in time. Can you call back? I can't get that silly answer
Hello?
machine off. Hello? The answer machine is on there. Can you call back and I'll try to catch it quicker?
Okay.
Now, when you get on the phone with us...
I guess we got a call. How do you do your last call number? I need you. We got a call right back. Okay. No, you need to stay here. I can't.
Okay, what's the number again?
You called. Okay.
740
698-9119.
Okay, we're going to have... Oh, it's not letting me get it.
You need to turn up your speaker.
This one?
Hello?
Hello?
I'm not having any luck whatsoever in catching this phone before this answer machine catches it. I've got to go turn that off.
Hi, we're trying to call you from California. Hello?
Hello? I'm not getting anywhere with catching this call. Are you there?
Sure, this is Rick and...
Oh, finally.
Call us at 510-260-5359.
Say it again.
Okay, we got you. You're there.
We got you now.
Okay, well, turn off your speaker and mic on your computer because we're going to be listening to you through the speakerphone.
Okay, now I turned off my speaker. Is that any better?
Well, I'm still hearing you through the computer.
Oh, you're muted.
My computer says I'm muted, so I don't know. Everything's off.
Let's see the room. Take it phone.
Take the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going in the other room.
Yes, that would be good. That's much better. Okay, you're on speakerphone with that. I'm going to hook up the other microphone and see if I can get this. Do you see? Well, on the screen it has seconds. So if you'll just talk about anything that's painful, we'll go from there, and I'll tell you when 30 seconds is up. Okay, stop. That's not helping any. Oh. Hold on, stop. We're not getting anything. Let me see if I can start over here. Go now.
Okay, I have a very tight muscle. It goes from the probably the first or second cervical vertebra all the way to the side of my shoulder, and then I have a very painful right knee. And I know that I have a problem with my hip being tilted. I go to a chiropractor often, but it always goes back down. And I'm a personal trainer. I've been training for 25 years, and so I'm very interested in what you do with this.
Okay, hold on.
Try to come here. You can see your graph.
You can see the graph, but did you hear that little snuff or cough or whatever it was there? I think it's right here. Let's listen to it. So I'm going to cut that out. I'm just going to hit my scissors and cut that out because it's not really her voice. So hang on the phone there. And I am going to export that. And how do you spell your name?
You need my last name?
Yes, I just need to file this. Is it P-A-T-T-Y, P-A-T-T-I? How do you spell your name? P-T-T-I. Online. And this is about muscles. So I'm going to save this in my WAV file. Remember I asked you to make a WAV file? Boy, I am hearing such feedback. Is it bothering anybody else? How about you hang up the phone and just talk to us through the computer? And that'll save us from getting the feedback. She can still give us feedback, but we won't get all that extra noise.
Okay.
So we can play this. Okay, you can still hear a little bit of that feedback. So this is not going to be incredibly accurate, but we're going to keep it. I am not going to kill it, just minimize it. And the next thing to do is take it into the abacus. And I wanted to use the other abacus for you guys. That's not going to come up, so I'll use this one. So I'm going to import that wave that I just made with Audacity. And so I'm going to go to the desktop, look in my wave file again. And we're bringing in Patty's voice. And when she said she's been a trainer and she loves this idea, and there it is, it changes it from that vocal data to numeric data. So this is 0 to 1,000 cycles per second. It judged her voice, and normal for her voice would be in this gray grid. Now she looks okay in the predictive area, except she's got an inflammation. I'm going to make this bigger so you can see what's going on here. Anytime you have this curve up like this, and it's great big spikes, that's in the predictive area. I can break that out for you to show these grid sections. This red is predictive, things that are going to happen that haven't manifested physically yet. And then green, what's happening now. And then blue is long term. This drives me absolutely crazy trying to look at this. I can change it to white so you can see it a little better. But I really have a problem with those colors. It's all done numerically down here anyway, 100, 200, 300, sort of 0 to 100 is predictive, 100 about a little past 500, 512 is now, and then on up to the 1,000 is the long term. I'm going to get rid of that because it just drives me up the wall to try to work with it. So we can look at, she has something low in long term that we probably need to look at. She has an inflammation where it's thin on one side and kind of thick on the other. Those are inflammations. Now, what looks important there? It's important that this information is above the grid lines. That means there's a methylation issue, and we probably should look at you in terms of nutrition also. Here is a spot in your chart that's almost broken too. That would be a significant area because that means the information is not getting where it ought to go in the body. And I'm going to write that down. 463, 158. Let's see if I can grab it. Well, sort of, kind of. Let me see if I got it. I think I'd rather have it down here because it's going to be on this line that's very thin. So I'm going to do 463, 934. And that's, those will be erased here in a second. So I'm going to ask the computer what it thinks is important. I'm going to hit this little red circle. And the computer just took some readings. Now I'm not happy that it didn't take this one. And it took these down here instead. We're looking at everything above this gray grid as something that is too hot, too high, and something below it, something that is missing. And in terms of muscles, if something is hot, it's inflamed in some way. So I took those out, and I want to come back and put this other one back in, because I want to look at things that are high, because she's complained of pain. Anything sort of sticking up by itself is a trauma spike. It just means usually one side of the body. Now, I put it down there where I didn't want it. I hit my right mouse and then my left mouse and put it back in there. So both of those are high. And then we have some lows we need to consider. These are lows that are only in the first section. So -1, -2, and -3. And until it gets to -3, it's not critical. These are just a little low here. But we'll still consider them. So we've got all of these frequencies that we're looking at. And the body said 21.99 here is a trauma spike. That's lower back. It said for this inflammation that it is boy, that looks nutritional. 16. That looks like it might be bromelain, and bromelain helps muscles. So PATTI online, and it's going to be about muscles. And we're going to make up her birthday. 12/12/12 tells the computer we don't know her birthday. Female and muscles. And she reported that there is a problem down the spine. Do you know where it starts?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, you said at the...
Yes, I have, well, I know I have a terrible pain from some muscle right from like the levator scap up my neck. So I don't know what it is. It goes up my cervical spine to the base of my skull. But that's not all. I have problems with my lower back, as you mentioned. I know my hips are not level. And then I also have problems with my right knee. And I've been seeing a chiropractor forever.
Okay, well, let's put that on our GNS file. That's a Genesis file. And let's go look. Let's open our muscles program. And all we have to do is dump that in, open that GNS file. Frequencies in there. So we know that she has a hip problem, so we could look at any of these muscles. And she probably has vertebrae in stress. That's not vertebrae, but we could just look at spine. And it'll show us all the different spine issues. She also said knee. So we might be looking for some of these muscles. So we go to data list and we say, give us a report. And the first thing that comes up is a node correlate chart. It divided all of her vocal print into sections. And we're looking for 4 or more. So we have a 5 on F, and F is lower back. It's the psoas muscle. It's quadratus lumborum. So we don't know which ones she has, but we're going to make this into a PDF file and print it. I'm going to put a little file over here. And I'm going to call it Patty Muscles. So when we decide to print this, it will make it into a PDF file, and I can go to Patty Muscles and just stick it in there, and then we can bundle it and send it right to her. If you would chat to me privately what your email address is. Methylation, how do you explain that as a question in the chat? If you eat bananas, bananas contain a lot of nice potassium, but that's potassium for the banana. Your body has to take that potassium and translate it into potassium for human. It prepares all your incoming resources for use by the body. And she definitely has a methylation issue, because when it's above the line like that, that's the problem. So this is just that same thing that shows us that the F is the problem. Now we're going to look at all of her muscles. We're going to look at anything that is here more than once. The deltoid is in stress. One is higher than the other. One's compensating. One's weak and one's strong. There's two of them here. Little finger, they're both high. Big toe, one's stressed and one isn't.
That's so true.
Iris, that ends up 3 times. That's the color part of the eye that gets big and small. So there is some eye stress here. Also up here, the cornea is stressed in your eye. Quadrate of the loins, 3 times. That's a biggie. Another name of quadrate of the loins is quadratus lumborum.
Okay.
So that's a 3. That's where we would go first. Now you think, good grief, where's the quadrate of the loins? Where's the quadratus lumborum? That's in quiz in back 1. So it's muscles of the lower back. Well, I don't see that here. I just lied. Wonder if they include that in the hips. Foot, thigh, wrist. It'd be the posterior. Don't know if that's going to be here or not. I don't see it. If I knew how to run this program, and I've threatened to learn how to use it, but I don't. I keep forgetting. We want a picture. Let's go. Quadrate of loins. Free dictionary, encyclopedia. So it's a muscle that moves across from the spine, transverse to the hips. And it has to deal with the psoas, which makes your hips not torque. Let's see if they say the same thing for quadrate of the loin. Quadrupled? I don't know what that is. I'm not having much luck here, am I? D-R-A-T-E of the loin. Illustration or picture or graph or something. I was trying to find a better picture here. Okay, so you can sort of see where this is. This is the front part of the body, and it's kind of in the back and comes transverse across from the spine to the crest of the hip bone. Well, not totally to the crest, but to the top of it. So if you're persistent, you can find out where that muscle is, and I was sure I could find it. Quadratus femoris. It looks like they would let you type something in so you could find it. Search Get Body Smart. See if it'll let us find it. Well, it took me to the internet. It says it's trying to take me to the ilio. It's taking me to a different one. Well, I'm going to give up there because it's not getting me anywhere. But does it match where your pain is, where we're showing that it comes across the lower back and to the hip there? Because the 3 is significant, and wherever it shows up more than once, that's where you really want to look. Aha! Here is a 4. The real root is your abdominal muscles. The rectus abdominis. Should have started there first, huh? Here's supraspinatus, that's a 3. We need to look there because it's tight on one side and loose on the other. So if you were to take these to your massage therapist or your chiropractor, you can say, this is the muscle I want to work right here. Now there's a book out, Muscle Exercises, I think it's by Montgomery, and they can give you exercises to release these tight stomach muscles and to help stretch and support these low ones. So this is a 4. This is the only 4 that you have. Here's another abdominal muscle. But it clearly states here, when we look at which muscles appear the most, that it is the abdominal muscles causing the problem. We have some eye things to look at. We got some toe things. Quadratus lumborum. So the body's not balanced. You can get one of those chi machines that helps balance the body up. That would be a way to do this. Or if the chiropractor can help you identify these muscles and where they are, maybe there's some trigger points for them. Our professional program has the trigger points right there. So I am going to make this, cancel, I'm going to make this into a PDF. Oh, Janet is giving me a free dictionary to look at. Okay, just in a second, I will get there. So we're going to put this in Patty's muscle chart, and I don't know where it disappeared to, but it did. So let's go back online and try this link that Jana sent us. That's not it. Oh, she says it's without a picture, so that doesn't help us anyway. Quadratus lumborum. Okay, Patty, if you can send me your email address here privately, I will send this right over to you. Because we can go to the email, we can say compose something, whether it's Patty or whatever, and we can say muscle reports But first, we want to download something to her called the pastel folder. And this is available for you online too. And we want to put in there, important, read this first. So that will tell her how to interpret her chart. Sometimes I send this first, most of the time I send it first, because people just won't look at it otherwise. And okay, I'll move that off and get the information. I want to put 2 more reports in here, but I've lost my patty muscle. Well, good grief. PATTIMUSCLE. So open that. And I can put my crystal report in there, and I can see that I didn't put the other one in there for some reason, so I'm going to go back. And I don't need the note correlate, but it said I didn't do this one. So we'll put that in her file. And I think also we should put the predictive information in her file. And the predictive information says if there's no intervention, this is what's going to happen. Quadratus of the loin is going to get worse, rectus abdominis, several eyeball things. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. T3 and 4 is going to go. Iliacus is going to be stressed. So if you had players and they were having lower back, you would give them exercises for their abdominals, because that's really where the issue is. It's not the back at all. This is predictive. So since she's got all that eye stuff, that's another thing. If we were doing this online for real, we would look at eye stuff, we would look at nutrition and inflammation. So I've got 2 more over here. We have the note correlate chart, so we have these 2. I'll hold down shift and get them all at once. And it'll probably just ignore that note correlate chart again. And I'll just say enjoy. I'm going to move this over to the other side to put in her email address. Just because I don't want to blab it all over. And say send, and it's on her way. So we just bundled everything. And there we are. Done. Ta-da! Now, what can you do with knowing that kind of information? What good is it? Well, here's one that we did for Tiger Woods. We looked at what was going on with his spine. We see that there's weakness, and it's weakness in those swivel muscles. Now, there is a very recent thing on the internet about Tiger Woods being the well, that's awful, because now I don't see it. I just looked it up. Email. Well, let's look at Tiger Woods in the news. and I better be careful because I don't want to knock us off. So Tiger Woods in the news. Now look at this. 7-1 favorite in Vegas to win PGA. Now, if you knew that you could have Tiger Woods' voice evaluated right before a big tournament, and you needed to know who to bet on, if we looked at all the players, I bet we could predict who is going to win. How valuable is that? Wonder if they'd kick us out of the betting halls or whatever was going to be happening. We have a program that is specifically for golf. But you can look up on the internet muscles involved with the golf swing, and you can just look them up yourself. There's a couple of other things. This is one of the posters that we did that we took to our local gym. This shows what he was talking about. He made a mistake with hitting the bunker and da-da-da. He's talking about his game. Here's the printout. Now, if there's such a thing as all of them getting together and talking about the game, we certainly can see who's in the best shape to have a win. Is that valuable to anybody? I think it is. I think that's incredibly valuable. Does this work the same way for a child's voice or a teen boy whose voice? Yes, it works. And it works if you're talking gibberish or laughing or crying or groaning or moaning or talking Swahili. It's just the sounds that we're interested in. Would we be able to intervene using tone presentation? How about playing the associated notes on an instrument? The notes will get you close. But to actually do it in a few minutes, find the nearest practitioner near you and go from there. Have them provide the frequencies for you. There are 19 different ways to provide a frequency for a muscle, whether it's nerves, whether it's connective tissue, whether it is weak or strong, whether it's a toxin causing the problem. So 19 different ways to look at that. We got a little extra time here, so let's go look at yours about maintenance and repair and drop the information in, and this is what your practitioner would work with you as. Or if you want, you can get in touch with us and we'll try to find you a practitioner. So this tells us why some of your muscles might not be in good shape. Looks like choline is the answer. Genetic inability to use some choline. It's a transport chain for the muscles. Even for your eyes here. Cell communication. Some collagen proteins. Laminin is the collagen that makes different kinds of tendons and ligaments and connective tissue. Actin is a problem. Actin is what makes things regrow. Alpha-ketoglutarate is part of the Krebs cycle, part of the energy cycle of the body. Uses glutamine. Glutamine. Remember I said at the beginning glutamic acid, glutamine, and glutathione? Ornithine is in the whole cascade that uses nitric oxide to feed the cells oxygen. Prostaglandin E2 high, that's the bad guy. Those are the ones that cause inflammation. Lactic acid is high, so you're not carrying trash out of your system. Probably not using your linolenic acid. That requires carnitine. There's that choline, 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 choline again. You can't go buy this gene and open it. You have to get it from a practitioner. Nerve growth factor high. So the body's trying. But this is just some of the maintenance and repair things that it tells you. And just some of your, just repeat your muscles again. Laminin and myelin, both proteins to help rebuild muscle and nerves. They're just not working well. They're too high, and you'll see on that report, when it's too high, we just need to give its sister parts to make it work. Vitamin C low, vitamin C high. So it's high and low at the same time. Not likely, since it's water soluble. It really is probably a muscle that's the same frequency. Acoustically speaking, almost everything's something else. Like I said, the ankle muscle and potassium are very close in frequency. So maintenance and repair would be a good way for you to go about this. Take some extra choline and inositol. Find out why that gene isn't working well. Choline helps get rid of Alzheimer's and think better and nerve transmission and nerve support. I'm trying to run back and look at the questions at the same time. One of the things that I can't think of his name. He's one of the people that worked with us. James Marshall. He had taken Accutane and destroyed the muscles, the smooth muscles in his intestines, and it just dissolved them, and they told him to go home and die. And we worked with him, and he used an acoustic guitar and off-tuned it and played the notes against his stomach. People are asking, could we use music? I think the best way for you to restructure your body is to get rid of all the toxins. You know, go out in the woods someplace where there's no electricity and no toxins and poison, and listen to the sounds inside your ears. That's your otoacoustic emission. And that helps reestablish the body. Okay, we had another volunteer. I'm trying to see who it was because I forget. Yes, acetylcholine. That's just the bioavailable form. I am trying to... Phil, was it you that said you would volunteer? Who was the other person? He has a frozen shoulder. So, Phil, can I get you to call that 9119 number? I think I put it in there right. And see if I can grab it before the answer machine gets it. We're going to start with Audacity again. Phil, are you with us so that we can look at your frozen shoulder? 740-698-9119. Green is are you there? Hello? Did I get it? Oh, good grief. I think we accidentally... Phil, are you there? Can you try again and I'll try to catch it? I tried to turn the answer machine off. Are you there? Nope. This is horrible without that phone working. I hate this system. I'm going to go unplug this other phone. Are you there? Phil? Hello? Still don't have it. Phil, are you there? Hello? Oh, hold on a second. Let me see if I can catch it over here. Are you there? Oh, great. Okay. Let's just tear my hair out. No, that's an exaggeration on it, but I was feeling frustration. Well, the answer machine's not supposed to answer it after I pushed this certain button, and it lied. So, you can't hear me on the phone? Okay. Okay, go. Go. Talk.
Above the horizontal for about 6 months, and I just went to an orthopedist who put me under in general anesthesia and rotated around, and now I can move it around a lot, and it feels, 1,000 times better. I can raise my hand, like I'm raising my hand to ask a question, and I'm just really excited because I now have movement again in my shoulder, and I'm working it hard, and it's getting better and better. Is that enough?
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm not getting any feedback from you, so you're okay right there. But what I'm going to do is go to the... Okay, we'll just hang up and we'll talk the other way. Okay. What I let it run long, like 36 seconds instead of 30, because I wanted to take out this beginning where we didn't really have anything. So we can hear it. You probably can't hear it very well, but I can. So the first thing is we're just going to save it, export it, and sometimes it says export as WAV depending on which one you downloaded. So we're going to say Phil Shoulder online and save that in our waves file. That was pretty simple. Well, I got another phone ring and I got to hang up. I took something off the hook. Okay. So we just saved that, and we're going to move it into our abacus. Now, he said he can move it now, but you know that we're going to look for anything that's a trauma spike. Import our wave file from our desktop waves. Phil online. Well, Phil has that methylation problem too. When you have something that looks like this, you can send us 2 wave files, and we'll send you back the information that will tell you what the methylation problem is. We have maps that we'll make for you. So this was about muscles. And 12, 12, 12, male, frozen, shoulder. Okay, the first thing we want to do, pull the points for anything that looks like a little trauma spike. And this is a little triangle, And that'll tell you how something started, how it manifested, and what's going on with it. So we can look at that. You just go in and look at anything you think might be something you want to take. That one, if I take it away, I wouldn't have taken it in the first place. But this one, yes. That looks pretty good. Got 3 lows here that we want to look at. I don't know if it will let us do something with 3 lows, but I'm going to try it. Usually you have to have 6 of each. And if that's the truth, then we'll just come back. So I'm going to hit this little Rubik's Cube-like thing, put this in my GNS file. Then open my muscles. Whoops, it was already open. Okay? And just dump his information in there. The GNS files, and it was Phil. I just could type PH and get that. Double click, and it'll just put everything in there. Now start looking at the reports, and it looks like it's going to let me make a report. If it didn't, this would be grayed in. You know, I forgot something. I forgot to check this note correlate chart. And let's look at shoulder anyway and see what we should be looking for. Any of these would be, isn't the levator, does that allow you to lift your arm up? And subscapularis. My mom had a problem with lifting her arm up, and that was it. So we don't know which one we're going to find, but let's look. We're looking at the note correlate chart first, and he has a 6 on A sharp, and that's the immune system of the body. Degeneration of body processes, that's kind of a high score. So we would want to look at that. Spleen might be involved. Immune system. So I can make him a little folder that says Phil Muscles. Make this a PDF file. And we can put that in his file, desktop, and get it prepared to send right over to him. Now, remember that we're going to be looking at anything that appears more than once. I don't see shoulders, so I might not be looking. S-H-O-U-L. Okay, oh, it's right there in the beginning. The deltoid shows high and stressed. Next, the rhomboids, the shoulder blade. And the trapezius. I would have expected to find the shoulder girdle or something like that. And I don't see any 3s in here. You also have some eye issues. Platysma, nose. Well, the deltoid, the trapezius, and this says shoulder blade. Where was your shoulder stuck? In the cap on your shoulder or under the shoulder blade? The cap. Okay. Still have severe glaucoma. We've got to get some oxygen back in your eyes. There's a program called Eye Watcher that we should look at for you. almost everything runs us to something. There's no 3s in there. There's some 2s. Levator, but it's the eyelid levator. Psoriasis, it's spaced by the neck. Okay, I'm going to go back and change my variance because I really don't see an answer. And I usually use a 6 on my variance if somebody's calling on the phone and it's not our Polycom that we're working on. So I changed the variance. Remind me to show you something about the signature in a minute. So I'm going to see if there's anything. Now there's 3 deltoids. And the vertebrae that controls the deltoid, all high. Your heart muscle is high. We need to look at that. Platysma, that's that muscle under your chin and down. And usually when that's in stress, you don't have enough hormones, especially progesterone. Quadrated loin twice. A lot of things about eye. Shoulder blades, just once though, where the deltoid is 3 times. So it's not the shoulder blade that is the stressor, it's that deltoid. And trapezius is only there once. So we can conclude that it's the deltoid because we've got a hit of 3 on it. There's actually 3 pages here. But this also points out to me we really need to do something about your eyes, Phil. Call the office just for an evaluation by you sending us vocal prints, and we'll just send you back the reports. I see 2 orbicularis oris muscles. That's the mouth. No problem with his kissing. All right. That's incredible. Did they tell you about the scholarships? Somebody gave us enough money for 3 matching scholarships. Great. That's wonderful. Then you can get the eye program and all of those to help you out. That's great. Let me bundle this for you and send it over. Those of you who are planning on taking that August course, yes, get stuff back to us as soon as you can because we need to get everything out to you. And there's a lot of prep. Okay, I told you to tell you something about the signature. Edit the signature. On the bottom of each of these reports, like, let me open Phil's muscle report. On the bottom of these, we have our name and address and all that. Well, you can go in and put in Phil or Patty or your website or whatever, and these become very distinct as reports that came from you. So just a little added thing. So we just started in looking at shoulder, and we knew that deltoid, and we knew what muscles we were looking for, and then went back to look at the report, and anything that appeared more than once was significant, and anything that appeared high and low at the same time was significant. Now the muscles that are high are muscles that are too tight and they need to be released. Stretching exercises. Boy, I don't know how you would stretch a deltoid. But in the golf swing kit, we have all the golf muscles and all the stretching exercises, so we must have found those someplace online. So we could go look at deltoid for stretching muscles. But let's pretend here that we want to do muscle performance, and let's drop in fill online for muscles, and here it is. And now with muscle performance, let's say you want to go visit a basketball team, a horseback riding, or rock climbing, running, salsa dancing, wrestling, swimming. Let's check out Phil for fencing. These are the muscles that he's going to be using for fencing, so that you can gear these very specifically to the team that you're going to, and it gives you all the nutrients and everything else that go with those muscles that are in stress. Now these are the muscles that are in stress for his fencing. And then this gives you all the activators and the nutrients. This one is available through the Guardian program. It's not available through this, but I wanted you to see what's there. Looks like benzene is high. We need to check that. That can certainly cause muscle deterioration and lack of oxygen in the cells. Vitamin B12 is high. I don't think so because it's water soluble. We need to look and see what else is high so your Bs are not working. So let's look at your nutrient assimilation chart for B12. So go to vitamins, look at B12, and we need sodium, potassium, vitamin C. Remember your vitamin C was stressed? Intrinsic factor, that's Castle's intrinsic factor. Deficiency may raise homocysteine levels. You're just not using B12. We would, and there's the choline. That's part of that. So you're not using B12. This is available for download, right, with that muscle link. So as we go, we could look at any of these. Let's say he wants to swing a bat. We can change our variance, take one off, put another one on. And this time it'll only show the muscles that are involved in batting practice. Looks to me like deltoid would be involved in batting practice, but I don't see it here. Myostatin is high. You don't want myostatin high. The higher the myostatin, the weaker you are. So we need to get you an antidote to myostatin. With age, myostatin increases, but you really don't want it increasing. And it has to do with cholesterol also. A tight connection with cholesterol. Glutamine, glutamic acid, we're looking at stiff muscles here. Myelin is high, probably just not working. You can run your frequencies every day, and you never have to know what they correlate to. You just have to know that here's a frequency that your body wants or doesn't want for the day. You never have to have these correlates. Potassium not working well, just too high. Boy, there's a lot on that one. So as we begin to look at your abacus, you can go in and see where these are. This is a C sharp. The highest one here is probably this 488. I think that's a B, it says. So you can see what these notes are. A B is too high, so you're going to need F. They each have their relationships, and you can download those charts, that nutrient correlation chart. You can download this from nanovoice.org. And it gives you a C sharp and what it stands for. Yours was all A sharp. So you can go look at where those A sharp frequencies are in your chart. This is 306. Why don't it tell me what it is? There's an A sharp. That's in the normal range, so I wouldn't worry about it. There's a C sharp, there's an E, an A, there's the little trauma spike, a G sharp. So you can look at each one of these where they are and determine which one is the highest and which one you need to work on. Looks like you've got some circulation problems or issues. I'm not allowed to say you have problems, just circulation issues. I am going to go skip a bunch of stuff to the bottom. Our lawyer makes us say that all of this is a disclaimer, and that if anybody gets well, that's just their problem, that we are really looking for a way to bring bioacoustic biology to the public so that we don't have to get caught up in the system that doesn't treat us well and doesn't, how do I say that? I went to a doctor the other day that someone had recommended because I just wanted, we're trying to hire somebody that can help us do some projects. And he wouldn't entertain that idea, so I went as a client and sort of talked about cholesterol or whatever. He didn't know that niacin was used in the medications for cholesterol. As a matter of fact, when I said, well, cholesterol meds are just niacin-based, he said, niacin doesn't have anything to do with it. Medications are based on something they have already found in nature. So we like to educate people to things that are real. We use Mike Adams as a great source. Dr. McCullough is a good source, but he's become very commercial. There are lots of people out there, Dr. Whitaker, Dr. Hyman, a lot of them have good information. We didn't have time to get to the marketing, although I did give you some marketing pieces in the beginning. We will probably do a separate class about that for people. Please join us at Blog Talk Radio. Sunday at noon, we're going to be talking about fracking. That's my new cuss word, oh frack, because I just think it's so horrible. You can see some of our videos on youtube.com. Please join us for happy hour. That's Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7 Eastern, 3 to 4 Pacific. And we do things right online, do vocal prints right online. I want to give you that address one more time where you can download the software. soundhealthoptions.com/muscle management see if I can put it up for you. If you liked what we just did, tell your friends, put it on your Facebook. If you want to go ahead and download the radiation program, that is there for you 24/7. Let people know that they can test their own radiation exposure. Here is the address for you to download this program. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's see if I can make it pink or something so it'll show up better for you. Well, it's not going to show up. There it goes. Let other people know that this is available to them. Other people out there talking and complaining, we're trying to provide you tools so that you can set up your own bioacoustic center. We'll help you all we can. We'll help you with your marketing. We already have a lot of the tools already built for you. Just get in touch and let us know what you need. Like I just talked to a lady today, and she said, well, I've downloaded all these programs, but I can't get my abacus to work. And I was like, how many times? And it was like 10 times. I said, call us. Let's see if we can help you get this started. We want to spread the word. We want to help people get healthy and be healthy, stay healthy, not have to jump into a medical system that they don't like. And we want it to stay with the people. Health for the people, by the people. We can do this, folks. We don't have to give up our wellness. There is only one wellness. There's many kinds of disease. And I think bioacoustic biology is the medicine of the future. Right now we're working on a project. They're trying to ration insulin. And we now have a way to give insulin by sound that we're testing out. But it wouldn't take the number you were given. Okay, so Lauren, call the office on Monday and have John walk you through it. You register the software right below where you download it. It says to register your software, click here. Sometimes when we do a show, people go in and bomb the site just because they think that's funny or just because they're trying to keep you from the software. But our website person keeps a real careful eye on everything. So if there's a problem with it, she'll get it back up and running shortly. And if not, get in touch with us on Monday and we'll help you get it downloaded. Above the gray means not using what's available. Could you say something about what it means when those points are below the gray? You don't have enough of that. Potassium's low, you don't have enough. Eat a baked potato full of potassium. I did not see an ibuprofen question. If someone took ibuprofen before giving a voice print, would it affect the results? Absolutely it would. Ibuprofen, which is a note of D, would show up as a trauma spike in the voice. We can also give you ibuprofen by sound. And there's a painkiller that the body has that we can provide to you also. And we can, there's a special way to look at pain in the body. I guess there was a lot of questions I didn't answer. We do these courses for a week at a time. My software download didn't work until I had Nutrition First. Yes, Yana, that there's a little secret file in Nutrition, and that's why we give people Nutrition First when they join Guardian. So the person who registered knows it. So they're trying to correct all the software that come after that, but Muscles is an old software, so I don't even know if it is has been fixed or not. But if not, we'll just give you a little download of Nutrition, and that should take care of it. Yes, John Frost is the registration person. You can get him at registration@vocalprofiling.com or shipping@registration.com, either one of those. Certainly appreciate you being here. The time always goes quick. And we'll be back. I think the next one that we're doing is either biodiet or allergies. I never can remember. Thank you, Colleen. I think you're going to make a great trainer. We just get some information under your belt. Thanks for being here, and if you love the class, please let your friends know that we are going to be repeating this. I think they're going to leave it up for another week, and then they're going to put it on YouTube. We want everybody to have it. So we'll talk later.